Welcome to the Temporary Insanity Podcast. Here are your hosts, Joshua Lewis Barella, William McCoy, and Sierra Tansey.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Temporary Insanity. I'm your host, Joshua Lewis Barella, and with me in studio, finally, after a few weeks of being broken up, is Mr. William McCoy and Miss Sierra Tansey. Guys, we're finally back in the same place at the same time recording an actual episode. What's going on?
The band's back together.
Yes, the band is back together. It feels like it's been a really long time, which is kind of crazy.
Oh, I am super excited that we are together, and it's been kind of cool having the kids. It's been let's call it an experience, honing them in. But we're seeing some good future talent. But there's nothing like when I have you two with me here, and we can get down to the temporary insanity of it all. Sierra's been giving us some updates on some school stuff. William was in need of some saving today from work, and life continues to just spin out, and we're seeing that as we come to the end of this year. So it's kind of fun to get back into some grown up talk. However, I will say with the Be Real kids, as crazy as it is, because you've both gotten to experience them individually, as crazy as it is to try to hone them into the conversation sometimes. They've had some good topics. I mean, they've actually gotten some decent ratings. I mean, last episode with them was about identity. The first one was talking about just having some real talk. So hey, good for them. They're building a little following with their generation. I applaud them for being brave. But today we talk turkey. See what I did there, guys?
Okay, we talk turkey.
I mean, as the old man of the group, I had to throw one of those dad jokes.
Yeah, old timey puns.
We're going into Thanksgiving week, and we've been seeing what's going on in the world.
Something dawned on me, though.
What is that?
This episode is coming out after Thanksgiving.
It's coming out on Black Friday.
Yeah.
So that's why
we should have done this one last
I think it's actually
Friday.
I think it's actually more fitting.
That it comes out after Thanksgiving.
On the calendar, actually, let me pull out on the calendar, they're trying to do some indigenous people something or other. I mean, would you consider that white guilt?
Absolutely.
On the calendar, doesn't
It's called
it say...
Native American Heritage Day on Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant that they changed Thursday to that.
No, so Thursday.
Imagine.
Thursday is. Guys, we just started the program. On the clock, it says 2 minutes and 53 seconds in. Okay, it is way too early for me to go on a rant. I was gonna try to reserve the ranting.
Just ask the question.
I was trying to reserve the ranting for a little while into it, but so on Thursday is Thanksgiving on the calendar. It says officially. Now this is according to the holidays in the United States on my calendar. Holidays in the United States. It says Thursday, November 23rd, Thanksgiving, and then Friday, November 24th. It says Native American Heritage Day. So, I mean,
it is white guilt. I mean, it is by the definition because it wasn't there before.
I feel like it was there last year.
I don't know. This is the first time
recently.
I really This is the first time I really paid attention to it. I mean, because let's call it for what it is. This holiday has really become a commercial holiday. I mean, everyone's like, oh, let's eat, let's gorge on food.
I'm a Thanksgiving hater. I mean, I don't hate the holiday. I only really eat 3 things, and I've been listening to Christmas music since October.
You had me in shock for a second. I was like, a Thanksgiving hater, Sierra. We're believers.
No,
we love Thanksgiving. We give thanks to God.
No, I'm a Thanksgiving hater. I hate almost every single thing that's served on Thanksgiving except for turkey, mashed potatoes, and bread. If I'll eat cranberry sauce, but it has to be the stuff that comes out looking like the can. If it's
thank you.
If it's real cranberries, I want nothing to do with it.
If someone pulls up with the real cranberries to your door, and I'm giving everyone permission to send them home.
I don't want it.
Send them to home or send them to the store to get the cranberries in the can.
So my family's Lebanese. My grandmother does make grape blues on Thanksgiving.
Well, for me, it's one of those things where I actually, let me rewind since you talked about the cranberry sauce. I remember there was one year, so we were raised on the canned cranberry sauce. So for me, I didn't realize that it came outside of the circle shape until, well into my 30s. A few years ago, I got very excited because somebody mentioned they were going to make homemade cranberry sauce, and I thought to myself, that must be an amazing experience.
Nope.
And I'll be honest.
Do you think that they were going to form it into the can shape?
No, I just thought it was going to be, I've been deprived, my entire life of this real I thought, because, sometimes when you try something that's made from scratch, and so, to be polite, because there was, someone, of course, to the same party brought the canned one that was in the circular shape, that the gelatin that I was used to, and someone else spent hours slaving over this homemade cranberry sauce, and I tried it, and I was, polite and at the same time very disappointed, and I did end up getting my circular one.
Cranberries are just kind of gross, I think.
Well, I eat it once a year, man. I only eat the round cranberry shaped gelatin on Thanksgiving.
I don't like cranberry in any other way other than the canned cranberry.
I think the canned cranberry is only needed between Thanksgiving and some people who do it on Christmas for Christmas dinner.
But
they live for
times. Fourth quarter. That entire company lives for the fourth quarter of the year.
Sometimes my family makes fake turkey dinners, and I say that because it's not a full turkey that they're making, but we'll have the mashed potatoes and
Well, let's call it for what it is. It's because they found a can in the back of their cabinet. They're oh crap, I got a can of cranberry sauce. I got to use this.
A Thanksgiving hater simply for the fact that I don't like 90% of the food served at Thanksgiving. Don't get me started on green bean casserole. Who likes that?
I'm not big into green beans to begin with, but if you're gonna have it, I guess you could have it as a casserole.
I don't like canned corn.
I like corn on the cob.
You just don't like food.
I don't like food.
Corn on the cob is the way that the Native Americans intended it to be.
I'll only eat corn if it's on a cob. I will only eat the corn if it's soaking in its own juices. I won't do it.
Slather it with some butter, throw some salt on it, man, and just do it up right off the cob.
There you go. That is the best one.
Well, I also like corn in the form of popcorn.
Stuffing?
No, stuffing's bomb.
That's literally just wet bread, Will.
Yeah, but it's
soggy
delicious.
Bread,
but a good shitty stuffing?
Well, first of all, it shouldn't be soggy.
I don't like shitties.
It shouldn't be soggy.
Oh, wait, no, shitties. I like shitties. I don't like kielbasa. Sorry.
You and me are on the same page. I'm a shitties guy.
I always get them mixed up, though.
Yeah, shitties. I like, but a good shitty stuffing, the right way.
Yeah, stuffing is delicious. So you should like stuffing.
But see, for me, Thanksgiving, when it comes to because everyone's you have to have the traditional thing. All right, so the turkey is small.
What? Let me ask you, what is the traditional thing? When did the tradition start? The original Thanksgiving, there was no turkey. So how was turkey?
But that's what I'm saying. The emphasis for me has never been the food because, let's be honest, we're Portuguese, right? So and you've been around long enough, Will, with our Thanksgivings. We have some turkey at Thanksgiving, but let's be real. You eat Thanksgiving with us, it's it's the Portuguese shrimp. It's it's the meats and all the pork. And then we have a little turkey there that we can have some turkey with, and we have some of the stuffing, But even the stuffing, it's shitty stuffing, Yeah. It's a very Portuguese style Thanksgiving,
White meat or dark meat for the turkey?
Neither. I don't eat turkey.
I'm gonna be honest with
turkey?
you.
No, it's a waste of meat.
The amount of turkey that I have on Thanksgiving.
On Thanksgiving, you don't eat turkey?
No.
You only have sides.
No. Well, they do ham as well.
And we also have the beef and stuff like that. So at our house for Thanksgiving, I will have
Guys,
literally.
I hate to break this to you. This is America.
What?
We eat turkey.
So you're saying all the other meats are not American?
I'm sorry, Sierra.
Not on Thanksgiving, though.
Would you like to continue to tell the Native American of the group how I should celebrate Thanksgiving?
Here's the thing.
If you want to be traditional, you should eat quail because that's what they eat as their meat.
I love quail.
But again.
First of all, I'm not a big fan of turkey. So
I'm not either, but I still eat it the one day a year.
I'll have a little bit of turkey just to say I had turkey on Thanksgiving. Also, till this day, probably the best turkey I've ever had on Thanksgiving, which I gorged on it, was when it was a time that we had Thanksgiving. So we went to our Thanksgiving, and then we had a second Thanksgiving dinner at your house, and your dad.
I remember this.
And your dad made the turkey out on the smoker.
I remember this.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, but the little turkey you do have, white or dark meat?
It would have to be dark meat.
No, I'm a light meat person.
I really have no preference at this point.
I don't honestly taste a difference, but I just always naturally go to the white meat.
So here's the thing. So we've taken this holiday, and I remember when I was a kid, it used to be it was very much, and we can dive into the origins of how we've pillaged this holiday from from a bunch of stuff. But let's stay on task here for just a moment and talk about how, at least when I was a kid, like we treated it for what it's supposedly turned into, which was to be thankful for the blessings that we have, to be thankful. I mean, it's really turned into something, kind of ridiculous. I mean, it's turned into like a focus on specifically the cuisines, the parties, kind of like everything, point. Football. It's turned into everything. But I remember even as a kid when we used to sit around the table and before you'd even eat, you would talk about what you were thankful for. You would take a moment to reflect. It used to be about service. Like we would go and we would volunteer, like at the shelters or but society has evolved into something where this holiday has really become a focus on selfishness. I'll be honest. I'm going to call it for what it is. I mean, we're not being thankful for what God has blessed us with. We're being thankful is for the Black Friday deals. I mean, we're eating and celebrating, then we're going home and we're preparing to go out shopping. Or nowadays, not even that.
Already doing that.
Right. And now we don't have to wait till Friday. Now we
Black
start
Friday shopping since Monday.
They start a week earlier every year.
I mean, the commercial aspect has changed so dramatically. It's ridiculous.
Shop Black Friday sale started November 1st. It's like, then what's the point of Black Friday even? It's like, if he's going to have deals that are not really deals all month, what's the hype?
I hate to be like that person that's like, COVID ruined everything, but I definitely think COVID did ruin like the traditional Black Friday, like getting in line.
No, as soon as they started changing the hours, I think that might have been a little bit before COVID.
Maybe.
Once they started, like, it used to be 12 a.m. stores were open. Now it's 5.
I went like traditional Black Friday shopping with my mom and my Aunt Michelle once, and it was so terrible. I hated it.
Listen,
I was cold. I was tired.
People ruin traditional Black Friday is an abomination. I'm sorry, and you heard me right, people. Look. When you're elbowing and throwing fists to fight in line for like 3 TVs that are marked down, I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's just not worth it. I mean, I'm going to save this for the Christmas episode because, like, let's be honest, because that's another thing that's become commercialized. We have lost the meaning of all this, all right? We have lost the realistic part of what Thanksgiving and Christmas and all this. I mean, we're so focused on the commercial aspect of these things, the food, the presents, the pageantry, the decorations. Like, and now let me flip this to a point where we get to where we are as believers. Like, hey, even in our faith, God's not looking for all that pageantry. God's looking for us to have that spirit of humility where we just are thankful for what he's done in our lives. On Thanksgiving, it's a good time to reflect and be thankful for the bloodshed on Calvary. It's to be thankful that we don't have an eternity that we're going to be separated from our Messiah because God sent his son to die a miserable death. To be thankful for a freedom from sin. And here we are. We're focused on the nonsense. I don't know. And I'm not saying, listen, I'm not being a bah humbug. I'm not saying that it's not, because of course it's also about family. So yes, it is about getting together and breaking bread and all that stuff. Not to be hoodwinked like the Pilgrims did to the Native Americans.
And hoodwink is putting it nicely.
Well, I'm trying to be nice because I'm going to let the Native American of the group kind of talk about that. But I'm saying, but is that all that it's about? When we're with our family celebrating Thanksgiving, are we being thankful for the people that we have with us? Like, and not to sound sappy, but you two in this room are 2 of the most important people in my life. I'm thankful for you guys. Like, I think I'd be remiss if I didn't take a moment in this program and say that I do love you guys. You guys are my family. I'm thankful for Will and Sierra. Not because, of anything they've done for me, but because they are my family. They are, 2 people who are very special to me. Have we stopped to recognize how thankful we are for those who are in our lives? I mean, I don't know. Like, Sarah got me stuck. She triggered me.
I literally asked about turkey.
That's what happened. You brought up the turkey and everything goes crazy.
It all started with the white meat and the dark meat.
Yeah, good job, Sierra. Are you trying to throw some innuendos in there?
I like both the white meat and the dark meat, though, just to answer your question.
Not what I meant by that. I'm going to have people, like, in the comments of this Facebook link.
Yeah. We got to get another argument going in the chat.
Could you imagine if we started like this, kind of like that? Because that argument lasted for months.
Yeah, that's kind of
could you imagine if we started an argument that lasted, like a revolt that lasted for months about white meat and dark meat? So, you know, Thanksgiving is also a very controversial holiday if you look at its history. I mean, now we have, and this is the thing where I started to get triggered with this whole thing. So, all right, accept it for what it is. All right, it's a massacre holiday. It's one of those ugly ones, right? So now what do? We try to put some lipstick on this pig, and now we're trying to the day after the massacre, we're like Native American Heritage Day.
We'll remember you after we eat.
So is that like, is that more insulting now to be like, so hey, we kind of messed y'all up, and now you're an afterthought, like like how messed up is that?
I mean, we're in the age of pandering to many things, if it's gender or race of any race. We're in the world of pandering. So at this point, it's like, we'll give you something. It won't be Thanksgiving, but we'll give you something. It'll be the day right after. So now you can't be mad at us because we're going to recognize you in some way.
It is kind of adding salt to the wound.
Yeah.
Like, maybe if it was like the Wednesday before, like today, maybe I would understand it. But
It's like, we're going to enjoy Thanksgiving. We're still going to put the lipstick on the pig. And then after, we'll be like, hey, let's remember the Native Americans. Thanksgiving is a tricky holiday for me, personally, being Native American. I'll say I do like Thanksgiving for like what it should be, being thankful. But it gets a little tricky because we kind of, it's like a backpedaling holiday. Like, it was established as a national holiday, and then we kind of like filled in the history from then on back the way it looked good for the Pilgrims at the time. And if you do that without, talking about the negative and the bloodshed, then it kind of makes Thanksgiving kind of like a moot point, because you should think of the good and bad and then be thankful through all that you're with your family. No matter what, if you're watching football, if you're, eating more than you should, even if you're thinking about Black Friday, at that point, it should be the history that we had, good and bad, got us to where we are now, where I can sit with the people, I love and share this time with and be thankful. And that's kind of, in the Native American community, we call it the Day of Remembrance. Because it's remembering that if you're a Native American, people before you have died. And you should be thankful that your bloodline still somehow survived that, and you can sit here and eat turkey, even though it used to be quail, or you can have the processed, cranberry sauce in the can.
Yeah.
Right? It seems like silly, but like it's like things where like you can't forget those things. That's how you take things for granted.
Right. I mean, but my thing about it is, I get it. We are a sum of our past, right? So like, you can't get to where we are today. We can't get to where we're going tomorrow without accepting, my thing is about when we try to whitewash our history, like, and we see that throughout, like, even in school, like, as a history nerd, and we're all history nerds in the room. I mean, and we see that over and over again, where we try, even in our public school system, to rewrite or make it politically correct or clean up the way historical events took place. We try to edit it a little bit. Honestly, the best way we learn and move forward is to just call it how it was. Sometimes history is ugly, even in our own personal lives. Like, sometimes, we don't like to remember the way we did certain things, but we are a sum of where we came from. I mean, look, history.com. I'm actually surprised. I actually pulled this article because I'm actually surprised that they were kind of up front, because sometimes they have a tendency to kind of clean things up a little bit. They have a little blurb on Thanksgiving that they put out for Thanksgiving 2023. It says, Thanksgiving Day is a national holiday in the United States. Thanksgiving 2023 occurs on Thursday, November 23rd, hence tomorrow. In 1621, the Plymouth colonists from England, which kind of makes me laugh, because, I mean, eventually it became our American colonies, but, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, technically, if we really wanted to play the blame game, we can blame the British, because, I mean, they're really the ones that put us in this mess. In 1621, the Plymouth colonists from England and the Native American Wampanoags people shared an autumn harvest feast that is acknowledged as one of the first Thanksgiving celebrations in the colonies. For more than 2 centuries, days of Thanksgiving were celebrated by individual colonies and states. It wasn't until 1863, which, was when we were actually America, in the midst of the Civil War, that President Abraham Lincoln proclaimed a national Thanksgiving Day to be held each November. But the holiday is not without controversy. And this is where I'm actually kind of surprised because usually they kind of leave this stuff out. Many Americans, including people of Native American history, believe that Thanksgiving celebrations mask the true history of oppression and bloodshed that underlies the relationship between European settlers and Native Americans. I mean, that's the part that, when we go to school that we kind of throw under the rug, right? Like, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue, blah, 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 all that stuff. But then they don't tell you, like, how many Native Americans they massacred when they found the New World, which wasn't really found. Yeah. I mean, you can't find something that people already own. Like, you know what I mean? It's like if I go to Will's house and like, hey, Will, I just found your house and I just like massacre everybody in Will's house so I could just take it. Like,
I live here now.
Yeah, this is my house now. I'm gonna plant my flag. So I mean, we try to backpedal and make things look pretty, but in reality, when the Mayflower came here, this was inhabited, and so we try to make it look all clean and all that. But there's a lot of truth to the fact that this holiday is planted on top of some controversy. And then here's the part where it kicks me in the gut, and this is where the point that I was making when I started getting set off is like, oh. So yeah, we recognize, without saying anything, like read between the lines here, that this is built on controversy. Clearly, there's people that are affected by this. So let's just give you the day after Thanksgiving as Native American Heritage Day. Like, come on, man. Like,
yeah, it's like the backdoor deals. Like we'll give you this over here, just like so you're not mad, but we're still gonna keep this the way it is and not talk about the bad stuff.
Why not have some real courage and call it Native Americans I'm Sorry Day? Like, if you really wanted to make a statement, instead of being like, we're going to call it Native American Heritage Day, why not put something out and be like, you know what?
Or like remembrance.
Yeah, like an honor day, or like actually apologize. That's the problem with our country is we're very good about trying to like backdoor. It's like stubborn people. Like stubborn people will never apologize when they're wrong, but they try to do nice things to like apologize without apologizing. So like America's kind of like that. Like we will never apologize for like massacring your people, but we'll do like something nice.
Look at the day after Thanksgiving.
Day. Like here you go.
Would it be worse if it was a month and then Thanksgiving fell into the month?
I'm saying, right?
I think that might be worse.
I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird thing because Thanksgiving has been established for so long. I feel like anything that they try to establish afterwards, like anywhere near it, feels a little pandering, and it might not be, but it's like just the way things are set up.
I mean,
it kind of feels that way.
Anything that anyone does is going to feel wrong at this point. If they really wanted to make a difference, I guess what they're trying to do, they should have made this holiday years ago when Thanksgiving was like established.
Oh, God forbid we did that.
Because the problem is they didn't establish as the holiday until people started reading up on the history, and that's one of the two problems I have with the Thanksgiving story is, one, every time you learn about Native Americans in school, like Native American story starts with the Pilgrims. Like there's no Native Americans without Pilgrims. And how you mentioned in the little excerpt is that, when the Pilgrims came, they had a harvest and they celebrated that harvest. But Native Americans before the Pilgrims came did that multiple times a year for hundreds and hundreds of years before the British decided to come over. But no one talks about that kind of heritage because they like to look at the Native Americans in the bad light, right? The people that stopped, the progression of the Pilgrims and, the Redskin savages, right? That's what you learn about the Native Americans. But they had history and culture before the Pilgrims came, and you don't get taught about that.
Well, and I love how they paint the picture of like how the Native Americans were always so angry. Why are you mad, bro? Like, well, I don't know. Maybe because we were here like doing our thing, and y'all came and started like planting your flags and taking our property, like taking our land, and like it's like I love how Disney paints the picture in Pocahontas, like between Pocahontas and like John Smith, and they put like this whole romanticism behind like the settlers. Like, and I'm like, there's like this whole romanticism behind it. I'm like, so like let's just like rewrite how history went down.
I don't know what went on in like the Disney animators' minds that would think thought Pocahontas was a good story to write.
Listen, I love the music though. I mean,
Music is good.
I mean,
Color of the Wind does kind of.
I was just singing that in my brain.
It does kind of hit.
When we paint with all the
but,
colors of the wind. I mean, as you said that, I'm thinking, I'm like singing it in my mind. I'm like jamming out here. I'm like, great theatrics. But
it's a
I
good
mean,
song, but like the story.
Then you go into like
Very wrong.
the real history of like Pocahontas and stuff like that. I'm like, whoa!
But they don't want to talk about that. It's like, no, look at the Disney movie. That's what really happened. I promise.
Like we start like indoctrinating kids young about like and don't get me wrong. Look, again, I am a proud patriot. I love America. I love our country. I love living here. But it comes with what I said just a little while ago. Like we have to accept that we have a past. We have a history. We did some things that are shameful, like the way we did certain things. We have to accept that. That's just part of. And
technically, you can blame the British because technically we weren't a country yet, so we'll blame the British.
I straight up did that already. You heard me.
It's the British fault.
We blamed the British. They wanted to take on the new world. It wasn't a new world, I agree with paying reparation and all that stuff to like we do now to the Native American people. I believe that they have everything that they're entitled to. They should get everything that they're entitled to. I believe all that. But what I'm saying is don't try to sweep it under the rug. Don't try to whitewash this. Don't try to paint it like, why are you mad? Like every time you see like these revisions of history, they paint the Native Americans as why are they coming after us?
Right. And I mean, and it's crazy because like the actual story that we historians have been seeing through history now, that they're finding these notes from these generals and all these things. It's actually, I think, a little bit better of a story because even go back to the first landing, they came over, they met these Wampanoag people. I don't know how they communicated, but at that time the Wampanoag tribe was kind of split. Some of them left. And then there were a few, and they were some of them were sick, some of them were old. So there was like a pat my back, pat your back. It's like, hey, we'll teach you how to grow crops. You protect us from, neighboring tribes. Because again, Native Americans weren't, angels. They were people like everyone else that have their flaws. Shout out to the Narragansett, my people. They were like, hey, the Narragansetts, they're the warrior types. We have the beachfront property, but we're few people. You guys come and protect us. We'll show you how to grow crops because you haven't been here. We can kumbaya that first year. Yep, okay, we got the harvest. We celebrate every time we have a harvest. It wasn't called Thanksgiving, but it was a celebration for the harvest. So it was a little bit of kumbaya at first, and then things happen, and then history progresses. But what's so bad about telling that part of the story?
Right. Well, and this is, it's kind of like they had the original trade economy, and that's the part that always kind of like blew my mind. Like, okay, so you come here, you start taking over. There was no reason, because that was the initial intent. If you really look at history, the initial intent was that there was going to be a trade. All right, the Native Americans knew how to grow things. They knew how to skin the animals. They would have traded crops and furs, but they had ancient weaponry. They were still using bows and arrows and knives. The British come over with more modern technology in terms of guns and different ways of building things, and so the initial intent was supposed to be that they would be able to like you said, scratch my back, I scratch yours, work together. They could have helped each other. They could have lived symbiotically, and then it's almost like one day they woke up and they're like, hey, these guys taught us all their trade secrets. We don't need them anymore.
Right.
Hey, our bullets are a lot faster than their arrows are.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the ugly part of the history, and this is the part that we all try to kind of glean over, right? We try to look past it, and we have to accept that. We can't, just because it's like that theory, like if we make pretend it didn't happen, it doesn't exist. No, it happened. It happened. It's part of the DNA of the foundations of where we came from. And if we don't accept that, we're in for a world of hurt. But now in the spirit of wokeness, not for nothing, it's all in the spirit of woke. In the spirit of wokeness, let's accommodate by giving this meaningless, because let's be honest, it's a meaningless gesture.
Mm-hmm.
You're not really accepting responsibility. you're not really accepting what had really happened. You're not really bringing awareness that we had to come from somewhere that it happened. But you're giving a meaningless gesture. What, the day after? And honestly, it's on a day where it gets overshadowed
by Black Friday.
Absolutely. It's overshadowed by commerce. So on the day of reflection, the day that actually is a reminder to the people who are affected by it, we're gluttonous and we're just having time with family, which is, like I said, there's also the positive part to it. But the day after, it's an afterthought. I don't know, and I can't speak to that because I'm not a Native American, so that's why I'm leaving that part to you. But it's just messed up. You're not painting with the colors of the wind.
No.
I mean,
it's a weird thing because it's a very tragic thing that happened, but it shouldn't be surprising because remember these were British people at the time, and what do they love to do in Europe? Find new land that they like and conquer. That's from the Greek and Roman time. The Greeks plundered how many miles and miles of land because they wanted to, because it was nice. So you're saying it's not a surprise that the British people come over, say, okay, now we know how to live here. We want it to be ours.
Right.
And then they do what their ancestors have done, what they see their neighbors do, neighboring countries, they conquer. Is it sad? Absolutely. Should it maybe never happen? Absolutely. But if it didn't, would we be sitting here today? No, things would have been different. So it's not, I think people are so afraid to unravel the truth because they feel like the backlash is going to be too much.
Well, and like I said, it's not a matter of condemnation. It's a matter of calling out the fact that we need to own it. I mean, look, it's like I said, it's just like what I tell people who ask me about God, right? I'm like, look, God's not looking for you to get yourself to meet prerequisites before you accept Him into your life. It's about owning your sin, owning that you're a sinner, and then just asking God to forgive you. Like, you're owning your past. He's not asking you to clean it up. He's not asking you to change what you've done in the past. He's just asking you to own that you're a sinner and then repent of it. And God's like, okay, great. Now you're my child. You're my son. You're my daughter, right? So, like, what I'm saying is like, sometimes it's okay. We get it. Like, it happened, but own it. Like, it's like, and here's the other sad part. We were just talking about this before the podcast, but like, so now you have this little footnote of what the day after Thanksgiving is, not Black Friday, Native American Heritage Day, and we see pop culture. Everybody's gonna know about everything, but not that. Like, for instance, like one of the things that I mentioned that I found out earlier in the week, like Puff Daddy, right? Apparently just paid $30 million to a girl that he was accused of raping, and she dropped everything. It was just a settlement.
Yep.
I mean, everyone's gonna know about P. Diddy or whatever he's going by these days.
I think he changed it again to something weird.
I don't know, man. That guy changed it more than I changed. Like, this guy's nuts. I changed my socks less than he changes his name. Well, that sounds messed up. Sierra's making faces at me. But more people will know about P. Diddy or whatever's going on with the Jonas Brother guy. I don't know if the divorce has been finalized or whatnot. Yeah. I mean, we're all gonna know about all these things. So again, it makes the point about the Native Americans are still an afterthought, right? Or just go back to the res. Just so we give them their reservations and their tax breaks or their tax exemption, and we expect for it. It's all good, right?
Yeah.
And even some tribes don't even get that recognition, right? Like a lot of them don't. Like your tribe, right? Does your tribe get the recognition?
No, not much.
Right.
Yeah, it's like the Wampanoags, and then the ones in Connecticut, the two big casinos, they get recognition. But yeah, a lot of the, because this was a lot of tribes, hundreds of different tribes, and you hear about like 5 or 6 popular ones that you hear in the school books, and that's it.
Well, everybody wants to be Cherokee.
Everyone does want to be Cherokee.
Is it pronounced Wampanoag?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm.
Well, listen, just remember, if you ever get your casino, we're family.
Yeah. I'll get you a cut. Don't worry. If I ever get my casino, I don't want to hold your breath.
That sounds illegal.
I don't want to cut. I just make sure he doesn't forget about me. You take me out to dinner or like, So I mean, it's just the point. It's just the point of what has this really become? And then let's not even forget that society in itself has become just very commercial. Like, so it used to be that everything was closed on Thanksgiving, just like it used to be closed on Sundays, right? Mm-hmm. But now that's not the case. Now we're seeing more and more places open on there used to be Miss Law student. I don't know if you've talked about retail law, but there used to be a law. And I think it only changed recently, if I'm not mistaken. And you could fact check me. I'm not going to give you like any legal advice, so you can't sue me. But if I'm not mistaken, there was like I think it was called the blue light law or something like that, where up until the last couple of years, I don't even think stores were allowed to start the Black Friday stuff on Thursday. I think they had to wait until a specific time
that's
on
when
Friday.
That's when they used to do the 12 a.m. on Friday.
Right.
And then that had to be pushed back.
Because they had to wait.
Again.
And now, all of a sudden, if I'm not mistaken, they've changed where stores are able to, in many places, open. So Thanksgiving itself, the day of where we're supposed to be with our family, and it has changed its law.
Blue laws, also known as Sunday laws, Sunday trade laws, and Sunday closing laws, are laws restricting or banning certain activities on specific days, usually Sundays in the Western world.
Right, and if I'm not mistaken, when it came to Thanksgiving, the only stores that were allowed to be open for a little while was the essentials. Like, you were allowed to have like the grocery store open for a little while. They had to close early, but they were allowed to open for a bit and stuff like that. But I remember when I was a kid, Thanksgiving, that was it. Like, it was a ghost town. Everybody was closed. Yeah. Like, you made sure you ran out the day before Thanksgiving for your last bit of stuff. It was like, everybody was throwing elbows to make sure they got their last minute Ocean Spray canned cranberry sauce. It's a whole new world. The commercialism has gone to a new. I remember when I worked in retail, people, we used to have to send people out taking turns to the lines on Friday morning because everyone had to take a shift in retail, and people would get into fights for people cutting or, like I said, throwing elbows. I never did. I'll tell you right now, I don't do Black Friday. I do the Cyber Monday. I do Amazon. Let's be honest. You guys know me well enough. I don't really do the Christmas shopping. You know darn well that Nancy does all of it. So like I'll do some of the last minute stuff on Christmas Eve for a couple of friends that I may have forgotten about. But I can't do the crowds. It's too crazy. People are just crazy. The amount of insanity that you see in those stores, like they need Jesus, man. Like
they're the ones that wait outside in the tents to fight someone for a TV. They're crazy.
I'm not gonna go too far with that because I do know people that have a good time. Like they have a good time. They wait. They like the the environment, like waiting outside and like that. I'm saying more like the ones that go nuts though, like throwing hands and stuff. Yeah. Listen, if you're a believer, if you believe in Jesus Christ and you're looking for like a way to evangelize to people who need Jesus. Go out on Black Friday with your bullhorn or a little speaker and just stand outside the stores and just preach John 3:16. You're going to see a lot of people who need Jesus, all right? You want to pray for people and stuff? Go inside the stores and start laying hands. No, don't do that. I'm just playing. Don't do. You can, but don't be touching anybody. That's gonna.
We usually don't have it too bad around here, but you see like videos of like Walmart's as being mobbed, people at the glass waiting for it to open. There's hundreds of people tripping over, and people die sometimes. Like that's crazy.
All the extra police officers on duty. And it's just for what, man? For what? That's not the reason for this holiday. It is not it's to give thanks. It's to be mindful of what God has blessed us with. We live in the greatest country in the universe. I get it. And I know for some of you listening, you're like, yeah, this country, the economy is torn up and I get it. But you know what? There are still places, whether you like it or not, that are still far worse off than we are. We still live in one of the greatest countries in the world. Be thankful. Be thankful. Be thankful. I don't know. I'm at a loss here.
There's just the importance of certain things gets mixed up. It's tough because like starting really October, you start hearing about Black Friday deals. Get this TV 50% off. We won't tell you that we marked it up 20% for you to 25% off, but it's 25% off. Line up early. It's like you get that when it's like drilled in your mind, and you're someone who, because then a lot of people start Black Friday shopping for Christmas.
I don't even do Black Friday anymore. Not so much Black Friday, but I don't even, honestly, a few years, like maybe 2 years ago, aside from like little kids, like I started changing more so my gift giving to like more of an experience giving. I've been trying to do more experiences for my friends and family. Because honestly, like I can give people stuff, like what I've been preferring to do is I've been trying to do like experiences, things that I can do with people I care about, like tickets to a show that we can go to together, or a concert, or like some kind of getaway. Because it's like honestly like unless somebody really needs something, like sometimes, and I ask like if there's something that somebody really really needs, like I try to be practical about stuff, but the one thing that you can never lose is an experience, like like it's that quality of the time that we spend with the people we care about, like doing something that you really enjoy together. Like I was watching, I forget what it was, I can't remember if it was a show or a movie, but they were taking mental pictures, and it's like I think it might have even been The Office, like when Jim and Pam got married, I'm not even sure. But it was one of those things where it's like it's the mental things, and it's like the stuff that it's the stuff that it's not tangible, but like you remember it for like the rest of your life. And honestly, like I've been enjoying that a lot more than the actual gift giving, because it's like it's a way to kind of like show somebody you care, but actually like doing something with them rather than giving them something that might end up in their garage, like
right.
like or at a yard sale, or regifting, like have people, if you're throwing elbows, and half the time that stuff gets regifted. Oof. Like, oh, thank you so much for the new blender that you got for like 60% off, and it's like under the sink. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just it baffles me.
I mean, like I have a love-hate relationship with Black Friday. I have back in the wow, I know I just turned 30, but back in the day, back when you can get like video game discs and it wasn't downloadable, I stood in some lines with some friends, and like that stuff is fun. Like I've never I know people who's like they get riled up.
You're 30. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know.
I thought you were 29.
No, you can continue thinking.
Baffled me.
He just had his birthday.
Said that he was. I know that it was just his birthday. I sent him a possum picture.
You did.
And
he's almost my age.
Almost.
He just said that. Like, my face was
almost.
like.
I appreciate you saying that, because I thought your response was like, let's not go that far. Like I still have almost
20s.
a decade on you.
Yeah.
Only one left.
I left you. Sorry. So, But like I know people who get like fired up and they get like upset about not getting deals. I'm like, that's a little much. It's a little much. Just like have fun, go out with your boys or go with your girls, your people. Get up early. You're a little tired, a little groggy, a little full from Thanksgiving. It could be like fun. But people always take it a little too far.
I remember the only time I went Black Friday shopping, it was with my aunt and my mom, like I said earlier. And my mom was funny because she was like, are you sure you want to go? Usually I buy you Christmas gifts. And I was like, I really want to go. I want to experience it. And she's like, okay, but if I tell you not to look at something, you can't look. I'm like, okay, Mom.
I try. So I've gone. So I'm not big. I don't like the big crowds. I don't like don't forget, again, like with my background and stuff like that. So like I don't do very very well with like all the craziness. So like I prefer not to be in that environment. But I had to see what this was. So like I got up, I went, I saw. I lasted about 45 minutes, man. Inside the store. I says, nope. I looked at Nancy. I says, I'm out of here. And she started laughing. She goes, that's why I told you to bring your own car. She says, I knew this wasn't going to work for you. I said, I couldn't. I said, these people are nuts. Lines wrapped around the store. So now my Black Friday tradition is very simple. I get up when I'm ready to get up, and I'll go eat, because restaurants are typically pretty empty because everybody's at the store. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken,
I think we went to lunch last year on Black Friday.
And if I'm not mistaken, we have plans to go to Chili's again this Black Friday.
I think we did.
So, and I stay away from where all the crowds are. My plan for this year is lunch with you. I have a date at the shooting range to test out some new ammunition that I just picked up. So I mean,
I hope Edith is there so I can show her my tattoo.
We do have to show, actually, and I do want to speak to the location manager. We're gonna ask the restaurant manager to come and be like, listen, this should entitle us to a discount because it is a tattoo for Chili's. So I'm just saying, like, my Black Friday is gonna be very easy. You're gonna hang out, and I'm gonna stay away from the madness. And again, like, it should be in honor of William and his people. I will have a Native American heritage memorial thought. I will stop and think of the Native Americans.
That's it. That's all we ask. Not too much. Is it not too much that we ask for?
In the middle,
I thought you meant like, don't think about us too much.
No, think about us all you want.
If there's a lot of people in the shopping plaza parking lot, I'll take my bullhorn. I'll be like, remember the Native Americans, all you shoppers, you greedy people. I'll make But it's just I don't get it. I mean, now there is a lot of stuff that I love about this part of the year. I love in the church world, like like we have Testimony Wednesday, where we give thanks to God and we get to reflect on the things that God has done. That's what we should be doing. If you haven't done so, think about the good things God has done in your life. We have a lot to thank God for. I mean, I know I do. This year we have a lot going on at Saving Grace with testimonies. I think we have, like, last I checked, we had like 9 or 10 people that are going to be testifying about the goodness of God in their lives and what God's done. So, I mean...
I'm sorry, that's so many.
It is, right?
I'm going to be, by the third one, I'm going to be like,
Well, hopefully they're exciting. Like, I'm sorry. I wish you said they're all exciting. God has done some good things.
Last year,
Hopefully they can present it excitingly.
Right. The charisma.
Last year it was cool because people just kept getting excited and wanted to talk. Because I remember, like, last year people just kept standing up. It was like me and then Dominic.
Because they weren't planned. It was, but it's like, we love to see people testifying. And for those of you who are not Christians and not believers, a testimony is like, it's like a Google review for God. Is that a cool way to, like, share it?
It's all the Yelp review.
It's like a Google or Yelp. So basically, it's when God does something awesome in your life and you share it with people. And it's exciting because we see the power of God at work. And that's, like, my favorite thing about Thanksgiving. I mean, we should be doing it all year round, but, Thanksgiving is like the highlight, it's like the ESPN highlight reel of the things that God has done for you, that we share with our friends and our family. And so, like, these are the things we should be giving thanks to God for the stuff that He's done. We should be giving thanks for, like, the things that have happened in our family. We should be sharing with our kids what we're thankful. I mean, because I know as a dad, sometimes I take my kids for granted. Kids, share with your parents what you're thankful for, like, that they, haven't taken you out, because let's be honest, sometimes we do have those thoughts.
Me and my kid are besties.
Oh, yeah. Your kid's too young.
We're besties. No, we're going to be besties forever.
I mean... wait till he's 13. Well,
the minute my Ethan calls me dude or bruh, I might just smack him.
I don't know. I mean, Ethan's got that even keeled temperament. So I think he's gonna be an easy one. But
I don't know. He slaps people and then he gets mad when you tell him not to slap people. He just starts bawling his eyes out. We're like, I'm not telling you because I'm mad at you. I'm just saying you just can't really
just
slap
go around
people.
Just giving people the 5-finger discount. You can't be doing that.
Like, he slapped my dad earlier, and I said, Ethan, we don't hit. And he was just like, like, I'm just saying you can't hit people, bro. You gotta calm down.
I'm just saying.
I'll be thankful when my kid just doesn't randomly hit anymore.
But, even with, like Ethan, for instance, we're thankful. I mean, we're thankful Ethan is, and just like the rest of us, I'm thankful that my kids are healthy. I'm thankful that my kids are just made the way they are. I mean, we just have so much to be thankful for with them. I mean, with Aiden, my son has neurofibromatosis. I mean, and with, like, the ups and downs that we've had with him on his genetic disorder, I mean, we're thankful for everything that God has done in his life. There are so many things that we thank God for. There's some verses that I want to share today as we get close to kind of wrapping this up, and I'm sure as Sierra and Will get expired, they can always jump in too. But like Matthew 13:6 says, "But blessed are your eyes because they see, and your hearts because they hear." 1 Chronicles 16:34 says, "Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good, and His love endures forever." I'm thankful for God's love because His love endures forever for those who believe in Him. Right? Colossians 3:15 says, "Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, since as members of one body you are called to peace, and be thankful." I mean, as we go through this crazy world, and as we listen to all the insanity that ensues out there, we're thankful for the peace that God gives us through His promise that He has you in His mighty hands, that He'll never leave you nor forsake you. Colossians 4:2 says, "Devote yourself to prayer, being watchful and thankful." Build that relationship with God, because the closer you are to God, the more you'll have to give thanks for, because He has His hand on your life. 2 Corinthians 9:11, "You will be enriched in every way so that you can be generous on every occasion. And through us, your generosity will result in thanksgiving to God." God will bless you, and through God blessing you, you'll be able to bless others. There's so much to be thankful for. I got a couple more. 1 Timothy 4 and 5 says, "For everything God created is good, and nothing is to be rejected if it is received with thanksgiving, because it is consecrated by the word of God and prayer." 1 Thessalonians 5:16 through 18, "Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Jesus Christ." Philippians 4:6 and 7, "Don't be anxious about anything, but in every situation be prayerful and petition. With thanksgiving, present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts, your mind, and your minds in Christ Jesus." I mean, these are just a few things that I think about when we talk about this specific day of the year, right? I mean, we should be thinking about these verses all the time. But I love what it says here in Philippians 4:6 and 7. 4:6 and 7 is not just for us as believers, but to those of you who don't know who Jesus Christ is as your Lord and Savior. For those of you who don't have a relationship with Jesus Christ, this is a promise that's given to us, right? I mean, it starts off with understanding that God loves you. And He loves you enough where He sent His Son, Jesus Christ. That alone is enough to be thankful for. If you're not thankful for anything else, be thankful that we have a choice between heaven and hell. Be thankful that you're not condemned because Jesus came and died on the cross for you. Like it says in John 3:16, and we say this week after week, that God loved the world enough that He sent His only Son to die on that cross, and whoever believes in Him will have eternal life. But I love how it says in 17, like I say time and time again, that He didn't send His Son to condemn the world, but that the world through Him will be saved. So in Philippians 4:6 and 7, it's telling you, don't be anxious for anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. It doesn't matter what it is that you're going through. It doesn't matter what situation you find yourself in. It doesn't matter what anxieties life is putting on you. It doesn't matter how defeated you feel. But if you put your petitions before God in prayer and supplication, if you surrender it all to Jesus Christ, because of what He came to do for you, if you surrender it all, if you surrender everything to the foot of the cross, He's got you covered. And that alone is worth being thankful for. We've talked about past here. We've talked about history. We've talked about how deplorable the history of the United States is as we came to this quote-unquote new world to take over. How horrible we treated people who were here before us. We all have a past. Maybe you have a deplorable past. Maybe you've done things you're not proud about. Whether you're a believer or not, whether you have a relationship with Jesus Christ or not, I know I have a past. Will and Sierra have a past. We all have a past that maybe we're not extremely happy to claim. Maybe we've tried to sweep it under the rug or whitewash our histories. But what I love is that God sees everything and He loves us anyway. As deplorable as our past may be, there's no prerequisite to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. And that's the choice that we have today. Listen, don't put off to tomorrow something that you can do right now. What you can do right now is drop to your knees and ask God to become your Lord and Savior. I'm trying to give you an opportunity to be thankful. Be thankful for the only thing that matters, the gift of salvation. So you can spend eternity in the presence of God. Free from hell, free from an eternity spent separated from your Savior. Do not be anxious for anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, means His peace is so unimaginable, you can't even understand where it comes from, how it works, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. I don't know if you're listening to the sound of my voice, because here's the sad reality of it. Aside from everything we're talking about as we go into the season, a lot of people are putting on that brave face. But if you deal with this, like an anxiety or depression, this is that time of year where sometimes people feel the most anxious or depressed. A lot of you listening to the sound of my voice might be dealing with that feeling of loneliness or depression. Fix your eyes on Christ. He wants to be there for you. He wants to reach out His mighty hand and give you a peace like none other. He wants to embrace you in His loving arms. For those of you listening to the sound of my voice, there's hope. that hope comes through Christ Jesus. If that's you today, reach out. We want to pray with you. We want to talk you through. If you have questions about who Jesus Christ is, we want to walk you through them. Maybe you're somebody who had a relationship with Jesus Christ, but you stopped talking to him through prayer, or you stopped going to church and you haven't had a relationship with him in a long time. Reach out. We want to talk to you. We want to help you find your way back to him. I'm not saying you got to come to Saving Grace to do that. We'll find you a place where you live close to your home. Or if you're in the Rhode Island area, you could always come here to our church, or we'll find you a good fit. But don't put it off to tomorrow, because tomorrow's not guaranteed. Death does not discriminate. This world is not going to get any better. It's just only going to get crazier and crazier. The insanity is going to get worse and worse. We're here but for a temporary moment. But eternity is forever. It's your choice. All right. That's what I got for today, guys. What do you think?
I like it.
Good enough for Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Yes.
All right, let's wrap this up. So if you find yourself in the North Providence area, you want to come join us here at Saving Grace Church, we'd love to have you. We'd love for you to come worship with us in our North Providence location. It's our only location. So I love how I kind of came off like we had multiple choices. You don't have a choice. You want to come worship with us? It has to be right here in North Providence, Rhode Island. We're located at 1 Volturno Street, North Providence, Rhode Island. If you want to check us out online, you can go to www.savinggrace.church. It has all of our information there. If you can't make it in person, you can check out our YouTube and our Facebook page at Saving
You
Our
took
Ride.
half my bit.
My bad. I was going to let you do it. I'm sorry. I'm going to let her do this part. How else can they watch us, Sierra?
On Facebook or YouTube at Saving RI.
I'm sorry.
Now it feels wrong. You took half my segment.
You can take part of my segment if you want.
No, bye.
We worship. What time we worship, Sierra?
9:30 is the class thing that I don't really know what the actual name of it is. And 10:30 is church.
See? Now we're even. You took part of my bit. We're here every Sunday morning at 9:30 for our Bible workshop with Pastor Floriano Pereira, as well as 10:30 for our worship service. We'd love to have you. If you're not from around here, like I just said a moment ago, we would love to set you up with a Bible-following church in your neighborhood so you can plug into the body of Christ and continue that journey. Perhaps you listened to the sound of our voices today and you decided, hey, I want to have a relationship with Jesus Christ, but I don't know where to start. It's like I said, reach out to us. Go to our website, www.savinggrace.church for our church page, or you can go to our podcast website, www.temporaryinsanitypodcast.com, and reach out. We will talk you through it. We want to set you up with the Bible. We want to set you up with some literature. We'll pray with you. We will get you on the right path to make that happen. Outside of that, I think that's it for today. We will be back on next week at noon. We hope you had a blessed Thanksgiving with your family. And that's about it. We love you.
Bye.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. New episodes drop every Friday at noon. Have a question about our faith or the insane times we live in? Go to our website, www.temporaryinsanitypodcast.com, and record a voice message. It may end up on our show. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and our YouTube channel at Temporary Insanity Podcast.